welcome to another edition of Executive Focus. I'm Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel. Today my co-host once again is Joelle Lukasiewicz with me. Thanks again for being with me.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And today's guest is going to be Dave Hart. He's the business manager, or business assistant, I should say, to the business manager for Operating Engineers Local 324. Dave, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing this facility, this training facility that you have here.
My pleasure.
Part of the reason why we're here. Can you kind of maybe, for those that are viewing and listening, can you kind of explain what it is you do and where we're at here today?
Absolutely. Well, here in Detroit we have the Stationary Engineers Training Center, and what we do here is we train students and our members on different types of stationary engineer functions. We have the HVAC training, which is the heating and cooling. We have different training modules here that we've invested over $500,000 of our money into training modules and devices. The stationary engineers, they work on buildings in Detroit and throughout the state of Michigan. We have approximately 17,000 members throughout the entire state of Michigan.
When you say your money, in other words, is this something that you guys use as far as the membership, the union dues, or what really pays for this?
The members actually pay for this out of collective bargaining agreements. The employers contribute a certain amount of money for each member, and that goes towards their training.
Okay.
So there's no state money, no federal money. This is all our money, our members' money.
So just to elaborate a little bit more on what this facility is and what it does, we were talking a little bit before about who can come here or why somebody would come here.
Sure.
So who comes here? Is it only union people who already have a job, or?
No, at this facility in particular, this is open to the general public. There are members that come here that have contributions coming in from their employers that can attend classes that we have course schedules that we publish for our members, and also we offer it to Michigan Works participants and general public.
So if I was out of a job and thinking, hey, I want to get into the trades, this facility would be open to me. I could come in here and there's classes that you offer.
Absolutely, yes.
For a specific trade, dealing with
Yeah, well, at this facility, as I mentioned earlier, is generally for the stationary engineers, which is general building maintenance, the heating and cooling maintenance, some electrical repairs, any general maintenance for buildings is what we train at this facility for.
And it's interesting, because I think sometimes the viewers that are sitting here listening and kind of tuning into this, oftentimes we're hearing, as of late, concerns or issues about labor, about unions, and right to work, and some of the concerns we have as far as, you know, is that a part of the problem or part of the reason why we're losing so many jobs in and around this region? And as I look to the labor force and the talent pool that we have, I come to the realization that these facilities that are out there for the various trades, as the one that we're in right now, there's a lot of education and training that goes on, and with that provides a tremendous amount of support for a labor force or workforce here that is by and far probably greater than anywhere else in the entire country and probably even the world. We're very competitive when it comes to the actual talented work pool that we have when it comes to the trades. Is that why we have these facilities?
That's absolutely true. It's true. The skills that our members and our union people put out there is very important, especially when you're working on big buildings, erecting bridges, and doing types of work that is very dangerous. Our members, we also have a hoisting and portable division, which is general construction. We have cranes, bulldozers, all the type of heavy equipment that there's a lot of dangers out there, and we train all the safety aspects as well.
You raised a good point. Do you know how your facilities compare to other facilities around the country? I mean, do they come and look at our facilities here to see how we do things?
Yes, actually we host many training conferences, I'll call them, not only for the operating engineers, but we also host other trades. We work in conjunction with other trades, such as the pipe fitters. We do joint training for rigging and signal person training. So the people out there that are actually doing the work are trained.
How is this different from like a community college or a university or even basic high school? I mean, are some of the high school programs offering something that is, I guess, a segue into this type of program here? I guess
I would say it would lead into something like this. With the high school, for example, we put on a construction career days every year that we usually host. It's been in like Ingham County and other counties throughout the state for the previous 4 years, I believe. And a lot of the students from schools, high schools, come and see what we do. We have equipment out there. We have we set up some of these trainers out at that career fair, and we also have all of our heavy equipment there, and they can actually get on the equipment, pull levers, and we have retirees as well as active members that volunteer to help train these students and give them a feel of what they're in for when they come into the business.
We're seeing, again, back in the day, I mean, I'm hearing now that there's I guess there's a demand for people that are skilled at the trades right now, and we're having a hard time finding them, which is kind of surprising to me. And I can remember a time back in high school, and I would have ventured a guess, and I'm gonna do this. I have to do this. Back when they had shop classes, I would take shop class, auto class, or whatever. And Joelle, you were probably taking home ec and I'm sorry.
I took shop class.
I was assuming it was going to be home ec and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't. You were actually doing the shop classes too?
Yeah, I think home ec was mandatory.
Okay, I would never admit taking that on camera. So for those that are viewing and have an opportunity to tap into my Facebook. But the question is, are kids today, are they interested in these type of jobs, or are they being diverted into other types of programs?
I think there are some that are interested, but they are being diverted into the higher education.
And why is that? What do you think it is? Is it because of the parents don't think these jobs that are out there for the trades are I guess, going to sustain a good lifestyle for them, or?
I would agree with that, yes.
Okay.
I think that's absolutely true. And one of the benefits of being an operating engineer is we have pensions, we have 401ks, we have defined contributions, we have a defined benefit plan, health care. There's a lot of benefits out there that for the working class is important.
What is the class schedule like, or the school or program schedule, whatever you would call it? What's that like? How long does that take, and what do they walk away with?
Well, there's different options here. Now we're talking for this facility. There's an apprenticeship program that new people that are interested in it could enroll in, and it's about a 3-year program.
Oh, okay.
And it would be similar to that with the heavy equipment.
Is it like every day, all day type of school, or?
It's actually on the job training as
Okay.
well as class time
Right,
training.
apprenticeship.
Right.
Said that. And let me ask you this: why is this so important for Macomb County?
Well, I think Macomb County, there's no question about it. When you think about skilled trades, I mean, we are recognized throughout the entire world as having one of the greatest labor forces here. And the problem is, I think we're starting to see that we're lacking the talent pool. There's not a lot of people that are actually entering into these type of programs that are actually getting trained and educated. And I think it's because we really haven't educated the kids that these are some good-paying jobs with some great, great skills that they're learning, which is obviously something that they can use in other settings as well. They don't just have to be working to do this. You take these type of skills when you're just at home and something breaks down or something isn't working, you have the ability to understand how to fix these type of things. And if I'm not mistaken, today's the environment of working, whether it's somebody who's working at a factory, it's not like your grandfather's factory anymore. Things have changed. It's much more technical. It's the skill level needed to do the type of work that we're talking about has been elevated to a great degree.
Correct. There's a lot of technology out there. You have robotics. You have different type of safety devices on a lot of these machines that you didn't see back then. And those are that's the type of training that we do here. The digital circuitry and that type of it's very important for that industry, as you say.
Well, I got to get back to that, even with kind of adding to Joelle's question here. How is this important to us? I guess that's a question. If we want to still become competitive and still maintain, the manufacturing base here in this region and in the state, how do we effectively reach out to the kids that are in high school and get them to start thinking of this as a career? I'm guessing that might be more of the focus, is how do we get the attention to the parents, to the kids, to say, hey, listen, these are some great opportunities, good jobs.
Well, hopefully this program works for you. But yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. And for example, the construction career days, we had reached out to a few different schools that didn't know anything about it. And my wife works for a school district in Macomb County that they have a construction program, but they didn't know anything about construction career days. So we invited them out, and they actually sent out probably 24 children to that event.
And these are kids that are interested in getting
into the construction industry. Not necessarily just the operating engineers, but the plumbers, pipe fitters, electricians. Everybody attends it in the union trades.
And you say there's an actual tuition for kids that decide they want to come here that don't have an apprentice program or are not working for some kind of a company?
Yeah, if there's a specific class that they want to take here, there is a tuition for it. But if they're in the apprenticeship program, there is no cost.
And what do you do, or what do you say to a parent that says, you know what, I want my kid to go to college and get a degree, you know, whatever that degree might be in? And sometimes today it's like, I don't think it matters just as long as you have that piece of paper just to signify the fact you're walking across the stage. How does this compare? In other words, to a kid saying, you know what, it's not a degree from some kind of a school or, you know, a university or whatever, but it is from a facility where they provide some kind of training.
We do have certificates, and we are actually working with some community colleges to get certain degrees.
Certifications and somehow. Okay.
Well, I mean, look at all the kids that graduate from college with degrees. I mean, they sit for years. I mean, I think the average is like 5 years before you get a job in your field, if that.
Well, that's the next question, I guess. Are there jobs available if somebody was to put themselves through this apprentice program?
There are jobs available, as you touched on earlier. We're in need of skilled employees that have these skills to do the work that's out there.
You're just looking for those that are interested in coming to the program.
Right. We're getting to a dangerous ratio of, you know, the older generation is retiring, and we don't have the younger replacing them to do this type of work.
Okay.
I would say that's with all skilled trades.
All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that after this break. We'll kind of get a little bit more interesting conversation about the types of work that we do with the operating engineers. You think you know Macomb County? You say we're blue collar and tough? Yeah, that's us. You say we use our hands to build America's cars, trucks, and tanks? Yeah, that's us too. But we're more than that. We're more than our jobs. We're more than what we build. And we're more than what you say we are. Yeah, many of our colors are blue. But so are the ribbons our schools are awarded. The same schools that churn out some of America's finest doctors, lawyers, physicists, and engineers that not only work here, but play here. Their yachts dot our lakes, their golf balls, our fairways. In an ever-changing world, there must always be a constant, a place to call home. I live in Macomb County. It is my home, and it is constant. Constantly changing, constantly evolving, and constantly elevating the world and the people that live in it. So if you think Macomb County is just a place where we build things, you're right. But what we're building is momentum. Welcome back to the second half of our program here today. Again, we're with Dave Hart. He's the Chief Assistant, Business Manager Assistant for the operating engineers. And we were just talking earlier about some of the opportunities for kids these days, and even some adults who maybe are no longer in a particular line of work or field and looking to get into something different and getting into some of the skilled trades, in particular the trades that we're talking about here today are the operating engineers and the type of skills that they provide. We know this facility does provide some of the training, as you had mentioned, but we know you also have another facility out in Howell that does something very unique and is somewhat near and dear to my past life, which dealt with law enforcement and public safety. Can you kind of explain a little bit about what the Howell facility does, Dave?
I can. Out in Howell, we have a 515-acre facility that we do the heavy construction training at. That's, for example, the bulldozers, the scrapers, the cranes. We have multiple different certifications that we have to have for the state of Michigan to be certified on a crane. We do that training there in Howell. We offer CDL, which is the commercial driver's license. We have a class out there that we offer for our members. that that gives them the opportunity to drive trucks, which they can haul equipment around. Some of our employers haul their own equipment, so that way our members will have the opportunity to do that. Some of the other things that we do out in Howell, as you mentioned, it's called MUSAR training. It's a Michigan Urban Search and Rescue, where the Michigan State Police, the Sheriff Departments, the FBI, and some of the fire departments come out and do training. We have a collapsed building out there, confined space training, where all the law enforcement and those professionals can come out and train together as if it was an actual event. Natural disasters, terrorists.
You say train together, just the law enforcement agencies or in conjunction with these different trades?
Both. Actually, they do their own training, and then they also have the operating engineers there with cranes available to lift off the pieces of concrete. So it would be almost like a real event.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like somebody helping out law enforcement if there's like a major disaster, because certainly law enforcement or fire personnel only have certain limited capabilities of moving, piles of debris and rubble around, and getting into certain, buildings that have just collapsed. And you guys would provide the resources because of the training they had and experience to help move that along, but do it in a way that the law enforcement and the fire services need that for possibly crime scene
absolutely,
preparation.
And it goes in conjunction with some of our other training. We have the crane signaling that we also help train the police officers and the firefighters, so they know what to tell the crane operator that's in the crane.
Oh.
So everybody's working together. It's very beneficial.
Now, do those usually take place over just a course of a couple hours a day, or is that like a weekend, or is that something that they do throughout the year?
They do it throughout the year. They do it throughout the year. It depends on what their availability is with different departments.
And that's just basically a side note. In other words, the training to understand how to move, work a crane, how to use a bulldozer, that's done at that site or that location as well?
That is what our members learn. And again, they're working in conjunction with the law enforcement agencies to respond to these natural disasters.
Do you see more enrollment or interest, if you will, at either one of the facilities, either this one or versus Howell, or?
Has it been declining, or is it growing?
It has been declining over the past few years. We have seen some increase this past year, but we're not at the level we need to be at, or we wish to be at.
Is there any competition that's creating that, or is it because of the
general economy, I think?
Okay, the economic conditions that we're seeing right now.
I mean, if there's some youngsters or people who are just looking to change careers or get into a different field, and they're watching this, give me a grocery list of the things that they could do, or the reasons that maybe they should inquire about your facilities.
Well, for the general construction, which would be the heavy equipment, there's opportunities to be crane operators, there's bulldozer, rubber tire backhoes, there's road work, which is by and large a large part of our membership, which everybody knows how bad our roads are lately.
And is that at this facility here in Detroit?
No, that would be out in Howell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a great way of putting it. If somebody's sitting at home listening to this right now, either they or somebody they know looking for a job or trying to find something for them, for themselves, what basic skill levels would they need? In other words, for you to train somebody, what are you looking for? Somebody that's got a high school degree, somebody that's...
Yeah, there are requirements, basically a high school diploma that they need to come in with. And there's general aptitudes. They have to be able to read and
diagrams or schematics.
Diagrams, schematics, right. So basic skills.
Well, when you say read diagrams, schematics, I don't want to scare somebody that all of a sudden you hand one from them and say, go ahead and read it. And you teach how to read certain schematics and diagrams and all that. They just have to...
Just a general knowledge of it.
Okay. And is there an age limitation
18.
to that?
They have to be at least 18 years.
But on the high end. In other words, if you had people come here that were...
No discrimination.
Coming in for like a second career and saying, I wanted to get it. But people have they done that?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
We've had 60-year-old apprentices.
Really?
And If you don't have people come into your facilities and learn this training, where do they get their training?
There are other schools that offer training. A lot of them are out of state. For example, there's an excavation class that is very expensive, and we've heard of people taking them out of state, and then they come back, they take our training, and they regret not coming to us first.
Are there other training facilities through other locals? Because you're the local 324, right?
We are the only operating engineers local in Michigan.
Okay.
We are chartered for the entire state, upper and lower.
And it depends on what type of course they want to take? Is the cost associated with that?
There's no cost for the heavy equipment. That is only offered to members.
Oh, okay, right.
For the stationary, there's a different setup for that.
What are your numbers like right now? Do you know how many people you have enrolled in the different apprenticeships or training that you offer?
For the heavy equipment, we have about just under 100 apprentices. But our journeymen, it's a constant roll through where they're going up, upgrading their skills. So you can come in as a bulldozer operator and learn how to operate a crane.
Right. What about here?
At this training facility, we have about 100 students at one time.
Okay.
And how does somebody get enrolled? In other words, somebody sitting at home, is there a website, or is there some kind of a...
Yes, we have a website. It's www.iuoe324.org.
Okay, and that'll be up on the screen so people can read that. And
do they have to start at a particular time of year, or is it any
for
time?
the apprenticeship, there is an enrollment period, and I think it's already happened for this year.
What's your capacity?
It's about what it's at right now, about 100.
Okay. I'm sitting here listening to everybody talk about how, we're losing trades and this and that, but yet you're saying that it's been declining over the last few years, and so I'm just wondering, what are we going to do? I mean, do you wonder that yourselves?
Absolutely, absolutely. But and I'd like to go back on the apprenticeship program too. That is for people that is new to the trade that would like to go through all those steps. There's other opportunities. If you're employed by one of our signatory contractors, you can actually become a member and then go out and do the training on your own. You just don't have to do the on-the-job training that the apprentices do. So
right.
There's a couple different ways to become a member and get the training.
What are the biggest opportunities available right now? In other words, what specific line of work, or I guess what field would you say right now is really looking for people to learn the trade, understand it, and they can get employment right away?
I would say the road construction is very important. That's obviously there's a lot of road work that needs to be done, and we're hoping to see a lot of that work come to fruition.
So the contractors that are out there bidding on some of the projects for road work are actually still looking for people that are, I guess, trained and educated.
Absolutely.
And have some certification in that area, understanding how to operate the equipment to actually construct the roads.
We have a lot of our members that do go out of state and can outperform, even though that they're paying the premium wage here, can outperform in other states.
And now, that being said, what are some of the jobs or some of the things that the operating engineers have been involved in over the years?
Ford Field, for example, Comerica Park, just to say a few here in Detroit. Any of the large bridges, Ambassador Bridge, the Blue Water Bridge, those were all built by operating engineers.
And now that you touched on it, what's your thoughts on the second bridge?
No, we need it.
I had a feeling.
But you wouldn't have enough workers to build it.
Well, they'd find them. They would
find
them all
them.
over.
We'd find them.
They would, and again, once they found those job opportunities were there, that would definitely it would open up some doors.
So I'm just trying to understand myself. If someone's out there and someone's saying, okay, I graduated from college, or whatever the case, but I haven't been able to find a job for 2 years. I think I'm going to go. My buddy's a road construction person. Mm-hmm. They can't just go with ABC Construction and sign up to be a road construction person. They have to have some type of training.
They can. Actually, if they went to that contractor, they could get hired. They could put in an application. They could get hired by that contractor.
With no experience?
Generally, they have a little experience, but no, they don't have to have experience. It's
okay.
up to the contractor. Mm-hmm. If the contractor wants them to start out, maybe shoveling stone on the side of the road, they work their way up.
But they're much more marketable having some kind of certification. Having those
Well, would they eventually have to have some type of training?
It would benefit them, yeah.
But they
It'd make it
necessarily
more-
wouldn't have to
They
have...
don't necessarily have
Okay.
to, but it would make it more marketable.
But to get that training, they just log on to your website, find out more about the operating engineers, and sign up for some of the classes, and get themselves some kind of an opportunity in the future with a pretty good paying job here.
Yes.
Well, Dave, we want to thank you for
Thank you.
sharing this opportunity with us and taking us through your facilities and letting the public at home know that there are plenty of opportunities out there for jobs in the skilled trades, and in particular with the operating engineers. And we want to thank them for all their work. And people need to recognize that the skilled trades here in this region far surpasses the abilities of the trades anywhere in the entire country. We have the best skilled trades here in Michigan, right here in this region. But I want to thank you once again, and my co-host Joelle Lukasiewicz, for being here. And once again, have a safe day, and thank you for joining us on Executive Focus. Macomb County, 27 cities, townships, and villages. From East Point to Memphis, Romeo to New Baltimore. 458 square miles of where you want to be. It's a place where your children can grow, and so can your business. Macomb County's tree-lined borders contain over 12,000 acres of parkland. Its outer edge, 31 miles of freshwater shoreline, both filled each year with countless concerts, festivals, and family reunions. It's the birthplace of advanced technologies that not only instruct future generations, but protect them. Hey, and those are just facts. You can get that from the internet or a book. No. To truly understand what Macomb County is all about, you need to experience it. You need to live here. You need to work here. When you do that, you'll know you're home.